So I have my completed ramp rack. Now, the setup might be different than what you guys were expecting because a lot of you guys use or want to use a grandstand or some kind of big mower. But this one is basically set up for a new guy who is not ready to use a grandstand. So right now we needed another truck. I couldn't find one with a cage. So in the background, you see those, what I call Schwarzenegger cages that are big. You can fit a grandstand and a mower and a walk behind side by side. You can also fit trimmers inside. I moved them on the outside. They've got the gas tanks, you know, the whole works. I could not find one of those. So I opted to buy a ramp rack. Simple setup, got it delivered. Took longer than I wanted to get set up, but if I really tried, we could have got it done in probably a day, everything with all the racks and everything, and I'll show that to you now. So here we go. Let me see how close I can get. I wonder if I could lift this up so I don't have to keep squatting down. 1 second, guys, check that out. Here's the back of the ramp. All right, I think that's gonna be good. So let's try this. So again, I've got this set up. So my new guy who doesn't have a grandstand or a big mower is set up and ready to go. So he works Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and he's got between 7 to 10 houses on each day. This is a new guy that just came out of training, and we're slowly filling up a route for him. It's middle of the season, closer to the halfway end of the season, so he may not have a full route by the end, but he's on our team. Next year, he'll start with about as many houses as everybody else. So here's my setup I have for him who doesn't have a grandstand yet. So I really like how, you know, the spring is on there. It's really good. So the way I've got it set up is I've got 2 mowers. The one that he uses the most should be on this side, so when he takes it down, he can access the trimmers really easily. I've also, right now, I've just got the leaf blowers there in a way so they're not falling, but I want to put a bar there so I can easily just put them there. Again, it could look a little cleaner. Once I get the bar where I want it, those leaf blowers will be out of the way so I could bring that more in and out. There was a kind of like a happy little accident that happened here. If you can see the end of that, or the top of the dovetail there is raised a little bit, so the wheels kind of get locked into place. That was actually an accident because we couldn't get the peg inside of the pocket up there to go lower. Again, one of those things that we probably could have done if we would have focused on that right at the beginning, but since we were kind of going as fast as we could, next thing you know, we've got everything put together, and then we realized we need to go lower. But we kind of left it, and it actually works out perfect because I want the mowers closer to the back so that we can dump the grass in the front. So that will keep it out of the way, and I'll show you this little setup I've got here. But yeah, so side-by-side mowers. I've got a bar in front of the wheels so that the mowers can't go forward anymore unless we lift it and make it go over. But it's locked in there. So when the mow guy gets to his property, he just brings the ramp down, grabs his mower really fast, and then he has access to his trimmers. So I originally wanted the trimmers on the outside of the truck, like I do with all the other trucks, but I just couldn't figure it out, and I wanted this to be done so that my guy could start using it on Monday, and I didn't want to waste any more time. We knew we could do it on the inside easily, so that's what we did. So let me show you what I did here. So again, these air blowers are hanging on there, but I want to put something like this metal tube here so that we can just put the leaf blowers right there and they won't slide down. I've got this rake holder or shovel holder that I put in front of the trimmer rack here, so we have access to that. Put the spool here. Now let's go kind of on the inside here. Let me take this mower out. Okay, so here's the bar that I put so that the mowers can't go forward. So we'd have all this area here for grass. Let me see if I could flip this around. I think that'll be better. All right, there we go. So I've got this bar there. So we've got all this area for grass. He has been using this can, and that's been working great. I did pay the extra for the headache rack or headache shelf. I don't know what they called it here, but I figured why not. So I've got gas cans, I've got the little bucket, and here's the trimmer rack with the rake and shovel holder there. So this one, so usually the mower that gets used the most should go on this side, so that way when you take it down, you can access this easier when you're on a property, all this stuff. This mower is just kind of backup for this guy. Now again, if we had grandstands, we would want to use, we would set this up differently. But because a new guy is going to be using this and he doesn't know how to use a grandstand, he's not worried about that. So the way that I'm looking at it is, this truck will be the first step when we hire somebody and going through training. So they'll ride with one of the guys in those trucks, to get trained. After a couple of weeks of training, they're going to start transitioning into a truck like this. So this was a F-150, one of those kind of stock trucks that, basically 8-foot bed. So anyway, it'd be a quick setup for a new guy. So after about, 2 weeks of training with somebody, then they start going off on their own. Maybe they're not ready to use a grandstand yet, so they have to use the push mowers. And of course, we'll give them a route that they don't need the push mowers, the grandstands. But anyway, I just wanted to show you my quick setup here. Let me put this away. I'll go inside here in a second, answer some questions. It's hot out here. How y'all doing? It's so bright I can't see the screen. Let me get set up here in a minute. So in my office, this is my office, I'm building a little roof line there. We're not done. I still need a peak right here and maybe some other things so we can start testing out some light combinations. And also if I'm showing new products, new colors, I don't know if these are plugged in right now. I don't have everything set up yet. Um, I don't remember how I plug those in right now, because I don't have a plug on this wall. But anyway, let me get this set up here. Let me get there, guys. I'm gonna log in. So who's with me today? All right. I think I'm live. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. I think I'm live. What's up, Brent? How are you, man? Oh man, I think it's gonna be far seeing the camera up like that. Francisco, what's up? So, were you guys able to see the ramp rack that I just threw together? Actually, I didn't just throw it together. It's been a work in progress. Actually, let me turn off this AC so it's quieter. $12.13. All right, guys. So, let me give you a little update with my sprinkler division. I know every time I post, I'm always talking about sprinklers. Maybe I'm not talking about it enough, or I don't talk about it in a great light. But this week has been the best week as far as operational wise, workflow, everything running really smooth. It's never been better. We've got people in the right place now, and it is just going so smooth. It was so good. So hopefully that's something that's going to get better and better, but I've never been happier with sprinklers. We still had some service calls. I don't think that's ever going to go away. Some issues where we fixed something and had to go back. I think that's always going to be an issue. Because, you can't sit there and wait for a whole cycle on every single drip or every single zone. So sometimes you look at it and everything looks good, and then you got to go, Sorry, I'm looking at... Sorry, when I'm talking, sometimes I get emails and I'm like, oh, it takes my train of thought, you know what I mean? What's up, Jamar? Good to see you. I don't actually see you, but you know what I mean. Brent, all is good. Things are good. I have a couple of ramp racks too. You do? Awesome. They are good for one-man crews. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to set mine up for. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. The reason why I have so many of those ramps, the Schwarzenegger ramps, because they were built around here, and so there's quite a few around here that at one time was pretty easy to get. Now, not so much. But I'm really excited about that ramp rack. It looks like it's going to be set up the way that the best way for one guy. So, in fact, two guys could use it if we had to, but hopefully we never go back to that. You know what I mean? We're buying one next season. I would run a 36 and 52. Yeah, so between the wheel wells, I think it's 52 inches. So you can easily fit, I could fit all my grandstands. I've got 36-inch grandstands that fit perfectly in there. So would a 40-inch grandstand. So I have 40-inch and 36, and they all fit great. The only problem is I can't fit a 21 or 22 inch walk behind side by side. One would have to be in the front or in the back. And so that's kind of a bummer. You know what I mean? But if I really wanted to, I probably could buy a flatbed and then put the ramp rack on a flatbed, you know? And then I could fit them side by side. And that may be something I do in the future, but I don't know. I'm going to have to do something because I can't. I know those Schwarzenegger cages that I have aren't going to last forever. I'm going to try to maintain them, try to do everything I can so they last as long as possible. Every winter, we're going to take a full day and do whatever we got to do to make sure that they're like in almost new condition every year, because I know how hard they are to find those other cages, you know. But the ramp racks, dude, if I need 2 more for next year, because I think I need to get 1 more, because I have the ramp rack now. I have another truck with a ramp that I know can work. In fact, it was one of my Schwarzenegger cages, but I chopped it up and changed it up a little bit, but it still has the ramp and still has plenty of space, so I could ride up with a grandstand and a walk behind next to it, so I won't have any issues there. But I feel like I'll need 1 more Mo setup next year to have 3. Well, I've already got 1 new guy this year, so I'll need 2 more, and that's assuming the new guy comes back. You know what I mean? But I feel like we're gonna need at least 3 new guys next year, and by this time next year, they should all be full, just like we are now. So by that point, I may need another one like I do now. So I don't know. We'll see. But man, also the other thing, I'm gonna show you my setup once we get that going for the sprinklers. So I got a new truck. I ordered the decked shelving system, and then I'm gonna buy 3 boxes to fill up the top. So the whole truck will be storage, including the extended cab doors, right? So we're gonna fill that up with usable storage space, which we've already kind of been doing that, but never in a way that's like we're gonna write down where everything goes, so that I could have my sprinkler trucks set up kind of like the Mo trucks, where that's just the way it is. It looks like that in every single truck. I'm gonna have the same thing with sprinkler trucks. And the trucks that I want to buy for sprinklers are going to be Nissan Titans. The reason why I'm going with Titans is for a couple reasons. One, Nissan Titans have kind of a distinct look about them. They're also a little loud. I kind of like that, so that when they show up to a property, maybe people will be like aware that somebody's there. But also because they're actually a pretty affordable truck for the quality you're getting. You're getting good quality with a Titan, but they're kind of on the lower end of the price spectrum, and I kind of like that. Also, if I keep getting the same Titan, so I have 2 Titans right now. If I keep getting these decked systems, I'll be able to just make sure I just get the same truck, and then I can always have the same setup for it. A brand new Titan, I think, goes for like 40 grand. I mean, that's brand new. So a used one, you know, dropped down significantly. So anyway, guys, my sprinkler division has done amazing this week. I had to do quite a bit of work myself too to make sure it worked. And we've actually got jobs confirmed every day next week, like where the customer knows we're coming. So I'm really excited about things. The mowing has gone amazing. We are slowing down for gardens. What about you guys? But we're slowing down, but because we hired so many people at the beginning of the season, some of those new guys are either leaving or they're fine with not working, 55, 60 hours. And so that has been kind of lucky. We just lost a new guy, but he was actually really good. But he didn't communicate very much, you know. So he got another job. So he came for his last check driving one of my competitors' vehicles. And now this is a commercial company, so I don't think they're my competitors necessarily, but you see their trucks a lot, just like mine. So I kind of call that my competitor, even though they're not really, we're not in the same, we don't have the same customers. Um, so he drove that to get his check, and he parked right in front so everybody could see. And I was just kind of like surprised that he wouldn't ask me or tell me that he's thinking about leaving or, you know, anything. It's just kind of like he sent me a text one morning, said, "Hey, I'm not coming in anymore. I'm going to go back into concrete work," is what he said. But yet he shows up in a landscaping truck. So, but he was new. He was good. He was good. But he was new. So it wasn't like he took, you know, it wasn't like I lost one of my legacy, you know, loyal guys, you know. But I'm still a little surprised that he didn't talk to me first. You're still getting garden cleanups, Jarmar. Yeah, I am too. Just not at the pace that we were. We've got some big estimates out that I'm hoping come in over the weekend. I'm talking big jobs, like $15,000 jobs. One of them's 15,000, another one's just under. But these properties are massive, and they are in bad shape. But yeah, I'm excited to get those, hopefully. Other than that, we've been kind of rocking. Our maintenance is still going. Our 4-hour blocks are still going. One of the reasons why the 4-hour blocks and 8-hour blocks work so well is basically my 8 and 4-hour block crew. They like going home at like 3 o'clock, 3, 4, 5 the latest. And so if we give them 2 4-hour blocks with drive time, that works, you know? So, and if they leave a little earlier, they're fine too. So what we typically do is give them like 2 4-hour blocks plus a garden maintenance that might take them a little bit of time, like a monthly maintenance. So we've been doing those things, and it's been working great. We've got the garden manager now doing estimates on Service Titan. Even though if the jobs get accepted, we still put them through Service Autopilot, because the garden workers all use Service Autopilot. So do all the mow guys, and so do the spray guys. Well, my weed killer guy, you know, for the garden beds, but my sprinkler guys use Service Titan. But anyway, the reason why she's doing that now is because she can create the estimates right in her car or right on the property when she's there. And then once she sends it, she's off to the next job, and she doesn't have to think about the estimates anymore, which is what a lot of you guys do with Jobber and all that. I get it. So that's pretty awesome. We weren't really able to do that with Service Autopilot, but that's not what Service Autopilot is famous for anyway. It's famous for routes, and optimizing and measuring and marketing. So that's great. So she's loving it, because after her last estimate, if she doesn't need to come back to the shop for anything, she just goes home. The only problem I'm having with that is that she's now driving her own car, which is not a Lawn Thumb's car. So I feel like that may be one of the reasons why people aren't answering the door when she's knocking. And I need to talk to her about that. I haven't been able to talk to her about that because she's been going home after she does her estimates. And I've been fine with that, but I really need to tell her that we got to figure something out. So I want to get her like a Prius kind of car, you know, something low gas cost, or a small truck, you know. I would kind of prefer the truck, to be honest with you. That way, if she had to take materials to a job, she could just load them in the back easier. Um, but anyway, that's kind of what's going on. I know I keep saying I hate Service Titan, but I learned a lot of it this week, and I've been really impressed with it. I know that's kind of going against what I've been saying all these times, but I guess the more you use something, the more you figure it out, the more it makes sense, and that's kind of what's happening. So anyway, guys, what's going on? Any questions, or what are you guys up to? What are your wins this week? What are your struggles? What's something that that you're wanting to do as far as your business? How's the year going? Just throw anything out there, guys. To be honest with you, I'm pretty much done with today. I'm just going to wrap this up after we're done, and I'm going to head home. Yeah, so I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm starting to ramp up my Christmas light gig. I've got the Christmas light roof line here so that when I'm showcasing products, because don't forget, I'm going to be selling products so you guys can buy directly from me, and I'll sell you light bulbs, I'll sell you strands, the whole Christmas stuff, you know. What's up? See you next time. All right, Cameron. Later, man. Lost one of my OG clients because I failed to let her know we now have a garden maintenance program. Don't worry about it, man. She will come back. But yes, I can't believe it. As I have customers who don't know we do other services. It's crazy. It's just the way it is. We do our best to try and tell everybody. So we do send out a lot of emails, but a lot of people don't actually read their emails, or they opt to get out of it early on, and so they don't know things. So it's not your fault, man. I also lost a customer because they wanted to go. I see you, Star Wars. I lost the customer because he thought he needed to find somebody else to prune the shrubs and all that stuff, and he did. And then when he got there, they were talking, and they were like, "Well, how much would you charge to mow my lawn?" And they lowballed me, so they went with him. You know, it's fine. It's gonna happen, man. Just don't worry about it. Don't let it get to you. My sprinkler guy just finished. He just pulled up, so I gotta make sure. I gotta see if he finished everything, so I don't have to figure things out. All right, I think he's done. He may come in, maybe not, because I got the door closed, so he may not come in. But I've got to reschedule one job, so I'm gonna move it to Saturday, and that will be the 23rd. Need to try another tag. Alright guys, sorry about that. I'm going to give that job to Justin. Alright. Francisco, slow year by choice. Well, that's good. As long as it's a choice. I could see that. Hopefully you're making good money. You know, I sometimes wonder if if I did a lot of the work myself, how, could I make more money? When you're first starting out, you go through that, you're not sure, maybe you are making good money, but then maybe you grow and grow, and then and then you have to go back and do it again, as far as like start small for whatever reason, you kind of feel like I've noticed people do that better, or I think I could do it better. Like if I said, all right, I'm just gonna mow myself. First of all, I think I'd piss off so many customers. I don't think it's even humanly possible for me to do that. But I could try if I were to do that. So here's the deal, man. One mow guy, okay? I'm talking the ones that want to work from early morning to as late as possible. They can pretty much mow about $1,200 a day, okay? $1,200 minus, I don't know how much gas would be. We'll say $80 in gas. The equipment, well, let's just say it comes down to you take home $1,000 a day. That's good. Let's say you do that for 5 days. It's $5,000. Now, if there's a repair problem, you got to have backups, right? So all that equipment will cost you money. Got very sick last year. Only picked up a few for my son to make a few bucks. Oh, I get it. Do you like Toro Right Gravely or Hustlers? I like Toro better, personally. Yeah, I hope you feel better too, Francisco. So I'm just trying to throw something out there. In order to have that $1,000 a day, your route density has to be so tight for the 5 days. That makes it really, really hard. I mean, in fact, probably impossible unless you start off with your Monday route being as route density as possible, and your Tuesday can also almost be done on that same Monday if the day was longer, and go on and on and on. But if you've got a route on one side of the service area and then another one on another day, your route density, I mean, it would be almost impossible to have a 5-day $1,200 route for one person, unless you have them like every day like we do here, where we have, I don't know, 460 lawns, and we said we're going to get rid of all of them except for one mow day of every day. You know what I mean? So growing, where you're bigger, you can make, anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a day. And you've just got to make sure that everybody's getting their stuff done. You know what I mean? You also got to make sure that the communication between the customer and the worker is there all day, every day. So that's the difference. You're trading in labor for delegation, and it's just as hard, if not harder. Because when one truck goes out there and they're working, they finish, they're done. But you still got to worry about the guys that are still out. You know what I mean? So it doesn't end. It never ends. Even when all the trucks are done for the day, I mean, you still got to worry about the after effects, right? Hey, your mow guy did this. Your sprinklers are still not working. My basement's flooding. I mean, there's a trade, right? You do everything on your own. You can make good money, but you're going to kill yourself, right? The labor is just, how long can you do that? How long can you keep that up? That's where I'm like, I think that's why it's better to move to grow and delegate rather than try and do it all yourself, because you might feel 100% and think that you can do this forever, and then the very next season, your first week back in, you realize you can't do it anymore. So the faster you get people doing all these jobs, the better it is for you and the workers who are helping you grow this, because they can move into management roles when they can't do it anymore. You know, I can't imagine some of my like really good mow guys, garden guys, sprinkler guys never working here. No way. I want to see if we could extract all that experience that they have onto the new people. You know what I mean? They know how to deal with customers. They know how things should look. So I'm not at the point where I've got like field managers that are like quality control, but we're almost there. You know what I mean? But we're just not there yet. But let me tell you, one of these great mow guys who can't do it anymore physically, I'm not going to let them leave. I got to tell them, dude, you've got to train people. Please don't leave. Let's do this. So anyway, guys, I do have an update on health insurance. So I had a meeting yesterday or the day before with my health insurance guy, and we're going to offer health insurance 100% to the employees. But they have to be categorized as a sprinkler tech or a snow tech. One or the other or both. If they're a snow tech, they're covered all year, even if they mow lawns, but they've got to be there for snow. Otherwise, they lose that category. Same thing with the sprinklers. If I've got a sprinkler tech and they push snow in the winter, they're still covered. If they're a sprinkler tech, so basically, the reason why I wanted to do health insurance was for the sprinkler techs, because in order to attract that professional type of worker, you got to have health insurance. It's like being a plumber or an HVAC guy. You know what I mean? It's like you go into that field as a career, but you get benefits and good pay. We already pay really good for sprinklers, but we're missing that benefits. So that's why I wanted to do it, but I also want my mow guys to take advantage of it too, and that's when I thought of snow workers. So the ones that want to work all year round, push snow, a benefit for them to stay through the snow, even though it's not as rocking and as busy as the mowing season. If they stick around, 100% covered. I'm going to pay for the whole thing. They don't have anything taken out of their checks for the health insurance if they're the employee. Now, if they want to cover their family, they will have to pay the difference, but that's on them. And I elected to do that because in this industry, you get a lot of single guys, to be honest with you. And I thought that that would be just something that I could offer, and that it won't be something that we have to like, take money out of their checks. If they're a sprinkler guy or a snow worker, we'll cover it. What is the cost of your employee for this health insurance? I don't want to go into too much detail, but if let's say 6 employees opt into this, so let's say my whole sprinkler division is going to opt in. And there are reasons why they wouldn't want to, even though it's paid 100%. It may affect the insurance policy they already have. But anyway, let's say six employees without their families are going to do it. It's going to cost me somewhere just under $2,000 a month. And that's on six employees. Now the cost, that's what the final bill would be for me every month. But in between the month, I will get taken out more, but I get reimbursed at the end of the month. I don't know if that makes sense. And there's no like perfect way to explain it. Even the guy was telling me, he's like, that's how much at the end of the month you will have taken out from your bank and not put back in. But the first 3 weeks, you'll get some taken out. So it's going to come out to more, but you'll get it back that same month. So I don't really know what that means, but that's health insurance, right? It's not supposed to be easy. It's a pain in the butt. I know my phone's ringing, man, but it is Saturday, and at some point we have to not answer, or else we can't. We'll always be. I can't help anybody anyway. We don't have workers out in the field, so I can't answer it. We have so many other ways of communicating though. So around 4,000 per year per guy. Let me see. I'm so bad at math. I had to have Rachel here with me, or else I wouldn't have been able to even get this far. Let me start over. Yes. Yes. About 4,000 per employee. Yep. And it's quite a bit if you look at it that way, but I like to look at it like monthly. It's pretty cheap. You know what I mean? Like it seems pretty cheap for the potential of having the best of the best. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm going to do it. So I could have opted to pay half of that. So that would have been about $2,000 per employee. But I just feel like, I don't know, man. I just feel like that's something that we can cover, and why put that burden on them, even though it's something they could really need or want. I'd rather just pay for the whole thing. I think that's more of a real benefit than, asking them if they, well, you got to ask them anyway, but I always thought, so when I went, in my past life, I was a restaurant manager, and I had mine paid for 100% at one of the places that I worked at, and I thought that's how it should be. And now that I'm in a position that I can offer it to other people, I feel like that's the better way to go. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So, yeah, he's going to come in on Thursday to talk to the employees that are in those divisions. So yeah. Again, the reason why I chose to go with snow clearing is because some of the mow guys who work all year would be a snow pusher, and they would qualify. So that was like my little workaround to try and get my main mow guys to also be able to get on it. So anyway, guys, what's going on? Let's see, I've been on for 45 minutes. All I've got to do now is go over some emails and and reply to some emails for confirming sprinkler dates where sprinkler techs are going to show up. So anyway, nobody said anything about my ramp rack, I don't think. Have you guys seen that at the beginning of the video? What do you think of my ramp rack? With the two mower setups, the way I've got the wheels that sit in place, the trimmers where I want them, all the space in the front for the grass, if they even need it, I like the ramp rack. Thanks, Cameron. Yeah, I'm just curious because, it was pretty easy to put together. Debating on whether to get my second van and hire now or just try and tough it out the rest of the year. So when you say a van, what are you trying to hire? Like what position? You're a big fan of the ramp rack. Awesome. Yeah, so Yeah, so what kind of service are you doing, Jamar, where you've got a van? Is it fertilizing or sprinklers, or maybe you mow out of a van? I know somebody, Rudy, I don't know if anybody here knows Rudy from Canada. He has a mow setup where it's a van. ProMaster vans for my setup. And is that for mowing, Jamar? Mowing. Okay. Um, so I would, if you think you're close to getting a second crew or another crew, I would get the van now because you know you're going to need it at the beginning of the season. So why wait when you're slammed to try and get all this ready? Start with the van, get it ready. If you know you're going to need it anyway next year, you might as well get a head start on it now. Because when the next season comes, you'll be ready. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm doing now. I'm doing it a little late, but I also do have another backup mow truck. What I'm thinking of getting now is another grandstand. I feel like we're at a point where I need another backup grandstand, but that I don't really want to pay for right now. You know what I mean? End of the season, I just bought 2 trucks, the ramp rack. Paid off so much stuff this year. The only thing I have a loan on are my salt spreaders, one or 2 plows, same amount of salt spreaders. So I would just say 3 plows and my Bobcat. That's the only thing I owe financing on. All the trucks are paid off, all the mowing equipment, everything except I guess 3 plows and the Bobcat. And I don't even know how much I owe on the Bobcat. I mean, that payment is like $800 a month, and I've been paying on it for like 2 years now. I can't remember if it's been 2 years or only 1. No, it's got to be 2. It's 2 years. So you finance the van, everything else is cash. Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. Like when I needed a truck just now, I didn't even think of finance. It didn't even cross my mind to go to the bank for that. Bobcat zero-turn mowers, nice. They look awesome. Those Bobcat zero-turn mowers, they look awesome. But I'm not a fan of sit-down mowers. I never have, never will be. I just don't like it. I rather stand than sit when I'm mowing. Another thing, I went to go pick up a mower yesterday, a grandstand mower, and the guy was moving it. There were mowers in the way for me to get it, so he had to sit down. And when he sat down, because it rained that morning, he got all wet. And that's just the worst, you know what I mean? Yes, you could get a new seat, you know, but that was just another reason for me to go, yeah, I would never get a sit-down mower. Cameron has a Populin Pro Weed Eater. I never heard of that. A Pollen Pro Weed Eater. I'm going to look that up real quick. Okay. I don't know if it's... I can't even see the name of this thing. Okay. So it came up as a Lowe's product. Is that right? I'm waiting on electric stand-ons to come out. Yeah, well, I think they do have them, right? You know better than me, but they're freaking expensive. What is that, 30 grand for a freaking stand-on? Mean green or something like that? Crazy. For 30 grand, I can get 3 grandstand mowers, man. That's way too much. What up, Pro Pressure? Yeah, dude, electric, that's just too much money, man. Hey, do you think Tesla's ever going to come out with an electric mower? I kind of think they will. I kind of think they will. Something that'll go into like all the Lowe's, Walmarts, Home Depots. Well, they'll probably direct mail it. They probably won't even go into the big box stores, but I kind of see them doing that for some reason. Um, no, no one has those yet. What about? I swear I've seen Mean Green has a stand-on mower. I swear I've seen it. If anything, it'd be a robot mower. Um, I don't know. Yeah, they cut out the middleman. Yeah, they would. Um, but I kind of see them doing that, and I kind of see it being a really cool mower. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But so let's see. I'm actually curious. I don't feel like we did amazing this week. I'm gonna find out. Let me see. Sorry, it may take me a second to get there. Um, I wish there was a notification sound if I get a message. 'Cause I don't get notices. Mean Green has a 48-inch smallest. Had old equipment in my shed. Yeah, when I started, this is crazy, man. When I started, I used my father-in-law's mower to mow my lawn in my house, and his trimmers were electric. They were the very first, like Lowe's. I don't know what brand it was. And I would use that to trim. And because I couldn't keep it charged, I ended up getting. He ended up buying a gas-powered one for basically so I could use it, so I could mow and trim his lawn and mine. Like that was how I got to mow my lawn, was to borrow my father-in-law's. But in order to borrow my father-in-law's, I had to mow his lawn too. And so that's how I started. And then I started mowing my neighbor's lawns with his van. His van had a hitch, and I basically borrowed his trailer, and I still have it. I still have his trailer, the very first trailer I ever had, and I used it to start my business, guys. That's how I started. Crazy, huh? I actually forgot about that story, but the marketing people that do my sprinkler division, when I first signed up with them a while ago, they just were talking to me and they were asking me, "Hey, how'd you start?" And I told them that story. And apparently they used it in like one of the marketing things for my business. And so I reread it last night because I was just kind of looking over my marketing stuff. And I read that story and it brought back so many memories because that is literally how I started. And now we have 22 trucks, something like at peak 30 employees. Last year's revenue was 1.5. This year my goal was 3 million, but I think we're going to be closer to 2, like just above 2, at the pace we're going. And it's crazy. Like, it's just crazy. Never, when I first started this, I thought my goal was to hit $1 million in revenue. That was my goal. And I didn't even know what that looked like. You know what I mean? I didn't even know like what it would take to do that much in revenue. Now my goal is just to make sure that everybody that works here is successful and buys a house. And I want to maintain like a salary that I'm happy with, making good money, maybe have options so that I could start investing in things. That's kind of where my goal is now. I would actually still like to get a nice car. I do want a nice car, you know. Um, so that's probably going to be my next thing. Maybe next year, I'll probably get a nice car. Um, my full timer had a kid this week, so it's been a little heavy on me. I'm tired and finding myself hesitant to take on too much, not knowing how things will turn out. That's true, man. Those are awesome goals. Thank you, Jamar. Uh, Thank you. I try to be a good man. But that is one of the things. I've got 3 employees that bought houses here, that work here. 3. That is something that I just love. And it all started when I was trying to make sure that everybody had enough, like my main guys had enough to buy a nice car. You know, when I first started, like probably you guys, a lot of your employees probably don't have cars. Is that the case? Let me know. How many of you guys have employees that the majority of your employee, whether you have 1 employee or 2 employees, maybe half don't have cars? So once we started getting busier and I started paying better, I started realizing people were buying cars. And not new cars, not like brand new cars, you know, but getting a car to drive to work and go places. And I started realizing that this business not only has the opportunity, like the more opportunity this business has for the employees, where they can come up and start, you know, really taking care of themselves and buying nice things, the better it is for the business owner. You know what I mean? So that's when I started realizing that that should be the goal. Give them the opportunity, and then it can't. Because remember, when you first start, because I forget this, you know, but when I first started, I would say, you know what? I'm just working. I'm just grinding. I got my head down. I'm just working. The money will come. But first, I want to get the systems in place. I want to figure this thing out. I want to make sure that it's organized and it's a real business. The money will come. You tell yourself that all the time, because I used to do it all. I used to say that all the time. My employees would say, "Oh, but we went back and did that for free." And I said, "Don't worry about it. Just let's go back and make it right. The money will come." Well, the money came. Now we got to make sure that the employees are happy so they can keep building this company up. So the goal is the highest employee could probably be, in my mind, is they can support their family with a house that they paid for, and they can buy that house because they work here. All right, that is my goal. And the benefits thing is coming. It's following. Like, they're now going to have benefits, and that's not even like the main goal. The main goal is to get them a house, but all these other things just come. So I know I'm beating it like a dead horse, but it really, when my first employee bought a house, he's a Mo guy, okay? I mean, I'm sure Long Thumb's not taking 100% credit for everybody buying a house. I know that, okay? But the fact that this is where they work, and they were able to get the loans, says a lot. You know what I mean? And so when that first person got a loan or got his house, I was just like, wow, like we did it. We did it. I felt like we finally made it as a company. And then the second guy got a house. That one was really special too, because that person came on a work, like his wife came on a school visa. He wasn't even technically allowed to work because his wife was here on a school visa. He worked his butt off, and with my help, we got him his permanent residency. So now he's able to leave and come back on his own. He bought a house. The American dream. He made the American dream. So that one was really special to me. This latest one that just happened really special to me because this person helped me grow this business, and the fact that that person has the house now, it's just they're all special. You know what I mean? And it's just like, and it's a great example for the other employees. Like the other employees can see that, oh, you've done it. Let me ask you how'd you do it? And it's something that's just kind of like, hopefully, it's just a good culture for everybody to kind of, I don't know. I'm just really happy about it. But that's been my goal lately. I literally just sold my old truck to my full timer. Nice. I did that too, and that was a good feeling. The only problem is I want my truck back because I love it. I sold a guy my work truck. Well, it wasn't my work truck. It was my truck, and I sold it to him for cheap. Okay. Prices started going up. He said, "Hey, would you consider buying the truck back?" I said, "Yeah, I'll buy it back for what I paid for or less." And he was trying to sell it to me for double. I thought that was wrong. So I didn't buy it. But partly, I don't know if he was being serious or not. But yeah. So that one hurt a little bit. I shouldn't have sold my nice truck. But it was for an employee who was kicking butt, and I thought, yeah, let's go. You're stealing that goal. It's a good goal, man. And especially when somebody does it, dude, you're gonna feel so good. He's now trying to get his first apartment. My employees help me mow lawns. Gotcha. I used to have my GMC. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to see if I missed anything here. Yeah, guys, it's the weekend, man. This was the fastest week I've ever felt like I had this year. I'm kind of scared to see how much we did on revenue. Now, the other thing is, I think I could see how much I did on sprinklers. I think I figured out that report. So I'm going to go first to the mowing and gardens. All right, so let me pull up the dates. We'll start on the first, this week, I mean. So it's July. This week started on the 11th to today. This month is flying by, man. Okay, so here we go. It's pretty low, guys. This week has been low for mowing and gardens. So we did 37K. That's pretty low when payroll is 25, 30K. You know what I mean? That's pretty low. So let's look at sprinklers here, because now I think I can look that up. I've never actually tried looking it up for the whole week like I am now, but I'm going to do it. Date range, last 7 days. So we did 16 in sprinklers. So both together, 53. So we're still up there. We're still up in sprinklers. Now, don't let that number fool you, because we just started doing good with sprinklers recently, like last week and this week. Prior to that, I don't think we were hitting those numbers. Let me see. So let me look at the last 14 days. So if we did 16 in 1 week, we did 24 in 2 weeks, 24,000. So divide that by 2. So see, we didn't do it's not divided. 24,5 minus, what was, did I say 16K? So we did 8,000 the week before. So you see, and it was getting lower and lower every week prior to that. We just finally started getting our system in place. I started figuring out Service Titan. So it's been really good, and that's why the numbers are getting really good for sprinklers. Also, one of my sprinkler managers decided that he wanted to be a tech because he felt that he could contribute more to the company, which I think is just like, wow, impressive. Just what a team player. And when he went out in the field, he's killing it. So, killing it. So, I think he's actually going to be making more money as a tech. So, I'm super excited because, you know, those techs, they get bonuses for you know, from hitting those man-hour rates. Kind of like the Mo guys do. As long as they beat their budget hours, those guys get a bonus, and so do the sprinkler techs. So the fact that he's out there, and he was just killing it this week, guys. So the standard pretty much for everybody is like, the best is to bring in $1,000 a day. Each employee, they bring in $1,000 a day. We're doing really good. That's what the Mo guys do, and that's what the sprinkler guys should be doing. But they're not, except for last week. I'm sure they did it. They all did killer. The garden guys, on average, don't bring in $1,000 per employee. They average out about $500 to $7,500. So about $750 to $500 is what the typical for a Mo guy to bring in, and that's pretty good per day. Sometimes it's less, but my block guys, they don't work a full 10 hours. Sometimes they work 6. So, but their average is about $50 per man per hour to $75. So that's kind of what I look at, and so I'm really happy with that. You also have a Chevy S10 and sold it to your brother. Nice. And when finished mowing lawns, you can take a break and drink water if you're hot. That's how you reward your guys. I think you got to do better than that, man. You know, yeah, you got to do better than that. That's really funny, Cameron. Although I don't know if you're trying to be funny or what, but I think it's funny, man. And you don't have to work this weekend. Okay, good. Yeah. I don't know. For me, yeah, being flexible on the weekend if they don't want to work is good. Yeah, that's funny. If you don't want to work, I think that's a perk to not make them work on Friday. You know, a lot of us, because we're in the mowing business, we try to keep Fridays empty for repairs or for makeup days. But in all honesty, you should have some crews that do work on Friday and try and keep them busy because, A, it's nice to have somebody at the shop if you do need to run back to a property for something that was messed up or something that didn't get mowed, something was blocking the gate one day this week, so you got to go back. It was raining on earlier in the day, but you got most of the jobs done, but there's still 1 or 2 that didn't get done. You don't want to call somebody in just to mow 1 or 2 properties, so you want to have them have a pretty decent full schedule anyway, and throw in those jobs that you just want to get done. You know what I mean? We had one yesterday. We have 2 Friday crews. No, actually, for mowing we got two crews, and they team up. So on Fridays we don't have 1-man crews. On Fridays we have 2-man crews. And the reason for that is we put the big jobs that maybe it would be too hard for one person to do. They can do it together, and it goes much smoother, much better. Also, some of these big properties, I mean, we're mainly residential, but we do some big commercial properties if they are a snow customer and they also want us to do the maintenance. We do that for them because obviously if they're a big commercial property in this winter time, that helps pay the bills. You know what I mean? Because those big snow properties pay between $3 to $1,000 a push. $300 to $1,000 every push, and that's work for people in the wintertime. So because of that, that's our exception with commercial. We'll do their maintenance in the summertime or for mowing season for that. Also have a ramp rack on my truck too for my tractor. Oh, nice. Nice. So yesterday on one of the mow crews, I guess a customer called my personal cell phone because somebody from my church gave them my number, and so they've been a customer this year. And every time she needs something, she calls me, but I don't answer my phone all the time. And so she left me a message, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but on iPhone, sometimes you don't get the voicemail for like 3 days. You know what I mean? Which I guess I don't care, because if they're calling for work stuff, they should be calling the business anyway. I think that's kind of like, it's more respected. Like, it's more of a respect thing to call my business to get work done than to call my cell phone. I think I don't do that to people. That I have cell phones of people that I do business with, but I call their work to get stuff done because I know what it's like. Anyway, I was just listening to her messages. I was just listening to messages on like Thursday night, and I saw that she said that she wanted to go weekly instead of every 2 weeks, and we had already mowed her, so her mow day already passed. But I was able to put it to Friday with the guy that mows it normally because he does a 2-man crew on Friday, so they were able to get it done. So things like that, it's really good to have crews working on Friday just to fit stuff in, because you never know. You never know when you have to like do an emergency, job, so that you're not backed up the next week. It just works out great, that Friday route for 2 guys. And those are crews that just want to work. They want to make money. You know what I mean? And then I've got guys that want to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and be off Thursday as early as possible. They'll work Thursday. So I got a guy who has probably the most dense route possible on Thursday. So he'll come in at 6:30 and he'll be done by like 11. And he's done. And he used to get mad at me at the beginning of the season because because he does like 2 streets on that day, and all the houses are right next to each other. So naturally, the neighbors keep signing up because they're like, wow, this guy is mowing all the lawns in the street, and it's all done on the same day. I want mine done on this day too. So they call up, and every time I add a new one, he used to get mad at me. But I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna unless I give that entire route away to somebody else. I'm not gonna send somebody to do the same street that you're on another day. Yeah, come on in. ¿Qué pasó? Somebody's calling me. ¿Qué pasó? Ok, ¿qué hiciste? ¿Pero va a trabajar? ¿Estás trabajando? Sorry guys. My guy that's working today out in the yard was really excited that he got the air working on that truck with the ramp rack. We had it all set except the dang AC wasn't working. I just bought that truck, so I didn't really know too much about it. And it turns out that the AC wasn't working. But he just got it working. It is blasting cold air. So I think my new guy that's going to be using that truck is going to be really happy. Matthew, glad to hear. I'm headed out fishing here in about an hour. Nice. That's something I need to do, go fishing, man. My wife even asked, like, she's like, dude, when can we go fishing? I'm like, yeah, we need to go. Hey, I sent someone who was looking for flower patch cleanup in Orem. I hope they reached out to you. Oh, awesome. Oh, hey, Matthew, you're the guy I met at Cutler's, right? Nice. Sweet. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they called, and hopefully we took care of them. So anyway, guys, I think, has it been an hour? Yeah, it's been over an hour. I think I'm gonna call it a day, head home, start my weekend, you know, because it's the weekend. I usually start my weekend around 2 o'clock Saturdays. Oh, what's up, Osama? How do you like the ramp rack versus your other customized mowing trucks? Well, I like the other customized mow trucks better because you can fit the mower side by side. But I like how easy it was to set it up. I mean, we could, if we had all the parts that, not all the parts, if we had all the attachments for the trailer, like the trailer racks, or the trimmer racks, I feel like there was something else we were missing. I don't remember. But we could have got it all done in a day, maybe 2 at the most, if we really pushed. So I like that fact with the ramp rack. And it actually only took a week to get here. I ordered it on Monday. I think it was a Monday when I placed my order. And the reason why I didn't get it the following Monday was because it was 4th of July. So it came the following day, which was Tuesday. And it got here. It was, actually, I think it came on a Wednesday, to be honest with you. But anyway, it wasn't that long of a wait. It actually sat in the crate that it came for like longer than it took to get here, because we also had to get the truck painted, all that stuff, you know what I mean? And we weren't in dire need of it. But we're going to test it out Monday. My mow guy's going to take it. Hopefully he's happy and everything will be great. All right, guys. Well, I'm out of here. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.